crowd over there. So, hey, everybody, listen up. But what we're going to do is what would be considered a standard spring inspection a little late. Okay? So we haven't looked through any of these hives other than Steve kind of cracked the lids to make sure they're alive. And there's bees moving around in them. And we dropped one moving in last night. Yeah, there's some bees in it. Didn't look like it was super strong. But you are going to take the second box. You're going to take the lid off. I'm going to go through this step by step with you. Take the lid off. You guys are going to do this. We're just to watch you. Take the lid off. Set the second box. Put the inner cover still on it. Wampus on the lid. Go through the bottom box. Do any spring cleaning we need to do. And then we'll decide what we're going to do with the second box with your instructor. Okay? But we usually, in the spring, go through the bottom box because a lot of times the bees have gone upstairs. Then when you get ready to move them down to our golden egg,
yeah, they are.
Move bees out of the second box in the bottom box. And if we need to get rid of the second box, we will. We're also looking for honey stores. And you'll want to look when you find a frame. We're looking for brood. You don't see the queen. It's not that big of a deal. The tag on the front tells you how old the queen is. An example, this one right here is a green queen, 2 years old. I'm sorry, 3 years old. Most of these are blue for last year. So you get some idea of what we got. And Bill's sitting on one. I am positive it's re-queened. That's a 4-year-old queen if it's still there.
Clean the frames.
Yeah. So most of the frames should have been pushed up tight. So the frame rests need to be cleaned, and the sidebars of the frames need to be cleaned up, and if there's stuff on the bottom. So if you run into an old queen cell or an old cup, cut them out. This is the time of year we remove everything left over from last year. So when you go into your hive, you find a cup, you know they're making it new. So you keep your eyes open from then on. And if you want, you can easily kind of keep an eye on that hive and check it next week and see if they've made a cell. Okay, cup first, then they make a cell. One of those two down there, I think, has a hatched queen from last year. But the interesting thing is marked, so I think I marked it before, after it hatched. We'll see what the colors are. So follow your instructor's leads here. It should be 5 people to a group. Try not to stand right in front of the hives as we get going, but you should be okay if you do. As you can tell, I'm walking around. But they are pretty gentle right now.
Don't have any issues. And so let's just go ahead and pull these frames out. We're going to get them cleaned up, and then we're going to stack them over the side, and then we'll start on that hive. Okay, so let's do our maintenance. So everybody, let's start pulling frames. Show me how you pull frames. Okay, nope. So, all right, here we go. We always want to. This bottom box wasn't clean very good from last year. Remember, we always want our frames centered. So if you go digging in and start, you're going to start breaking frames. So I'll do the first one here. So we got it over there as far as we could. So we just want to, there's a lot of propolis in here. So we want to be really gentle. Getting these out, we don't want to break them. Okay, now we got room. So we got all this gray mold here. So the reason this mold is here is, see how I'm scraping it? And you can see there's some old olive larvae and some old pollen pockets in here, a lot of pollen right in the center. See all that old pollen? Well, that's the bee bread, okay? And bee bread, when the hive starts to dwindle like this or it dies out, that bee bread's really gonna mold up. Also, you see this crack right along here between the comb? That's what I was talking about when you take the frames out. So as frames get older, they're going to draw moisture and expand, but we really want to make sure we keep them clean. So, we're going to scrape that off, and really, a good way to do this is once you get everything clean, let's say you got this situation and you got it all cleaned up, take your bottom board off, and on nice days like today, just take the box and stand it up for a couple days, let the wind blow through there, it'll help dry it out. If it's raining, put it in the garage in a box fan for a couple days, it'll dry it out real quick. Okay, so again, so now see that top bar starting to separate, and I don't have my box over here to re-nail it. We can just go ahead and it'll be fine, but we just want to make sure that we get everything nice and clean. Now, brand new hive tools work great because they're nice and sharp. I always advocate this hook portion always being sharp because it's gonna make your job so much easier, especially if you had bees on it. But I brought a new hive tool. Main reason is just in case of disease, right? So I've got like 12 of them in my pickup. But that's what we want to do, and then we're just going to set this frame. You see, there's a lot of honey stores in there, probably a lot of syrup stores.
And you're going to clean this off.
Just leave them right there for now. Let's just try to stack more topics together and clean them up as we go along.
Now this, you know, you could get by saving this. This is really not that bad. They'll clean that up and they'll clean this little bit off, and you could save this. If it was my hive, I'd just throw it away. But if you needed to save it, you could, because that's really, once you clean that off, they'll clean that up. They'll clean that up in a heartbeat, and they'll yep. Yes, it's mold. Yeah, it's mold. All right, you guys, somebody take turns.
To get a package going. You can feed them initially, you know, just to like kick them in gear and whatnot. Yeah. But it's not necessary, especially if you have drawn out homes.
Okay, well, what I was thinking I would do is a new box down in there, but also take out a couple of other frames, maybe over toward the edge, and replace them with frames that have honey in them in my winter. Sure. Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I don't want to hurt them.
So an easy way to clean these bars is then you can just like this. You do it really quick. You know, when you got a lot of times to clean, you're going through it. You want to be kind of quick and efficient. So if you have extra hives and stuff left over, you know, you're not replacing all your bees.
I was doing my treatments right after the end of the year, and I had apple bar strips on there up until the very last time I opened it.
We got it. Now you notice where all the bees were over there, and look at where they are here. There's only 3 frames of them. See here, you got lots of bees here, and then it starts to thin out. There's nothing here.
Okay, that's because then you're going to have to clean the mud off them. Okay, so we can set them.
Yeah, you can kind of set them there. They have
for now.
We'll do this one probably in that part.
And again, pull the DeSoto tweeters on it straight up, even though she's not. Pretty good amount of food stashed here. And then what I do is I pull it out and I go, okay, I want to clean each of these, and I take my, that's a no, that's not there.
Like if you see a whole bunch of dysentery on here, a whole bunch of real dark stuff, that's telling you that they've been sick. They're sick and something's wrong. And that's just going to give you something to look for when you get inside your hive. So always make sure, this hive obviously doesn't have anything going on. It's a strong hive. But that's something that you can look for when you're checking out your hives for the first time in the spring, is always look for any indication that you might be having problems. So the first thing that you want to do is, I'm going to let you guys do all this. So the first thing you're going to do is take off your lid,
We're trying to work.
set it on the ground, or if you have a little stand like this, you're going to set it on the stand. Now, who can see that here?
So what is dysentery?
Yep. So they've got a real problem.
Brown colored, poop,
Right,
bee poop.
right.
And it's going to be real runny.
Yeah,
It's gonna be
diarrhea.
real runny. So now you're going to want to start to, number one, you would clean up, you'd smoke them down a little bit more.
It's a good looking hive.
Yeah, it is.
Like this, and you're going to do this to your hives if you already haven't.
I don't have a hive anymore.
That is fresh pollen. That's just been coming in. And when you see that, that's ideal, but it also is choking down on the queen a little bit.
Okay.
So you want to monitor that, but they're getting an excessive amount of pollen in at my house.
Because they're filling up the cells.
They're filling up the cells.
Yeah.
That's a
Okay.
lot of pollen on one frame.
Isn't it? That's not new. There's no nectar out there yet.
Okay.
So they're opening that up and moving it around.
I'm moving it.
Uh-huh. Same thing there.
Okay.
Okay?
And
And
I
just
can
set
put
it.
that there.
Set it right. Okay. Let's keep going. See if we can find her. I haven't
Yeah.
seen any eggs yet.
I'll tell you, once they got into the top box, they were so much calmer than that bottom
Oh, there
box.
she
Yeah.
is.
Yep, I see her.
Queen's on
There
this
she
side.
is.
On that
So
side.
we're gonna
she's
we're
on
gonna
this
look
side.
here. And now I want you to look on.
See her so fast.
You'll see her as soon as you turn it over.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You see her?
So now,
Yeah.
what you want to do? I want you to
She's
look
a
for
big-
eggs. Eggs.
Big and
Yeah, she does look big.
Now see how dark she is?
yeah.
She's a carniolan, you can tell.
Yeah.
How big and fat she is.
Yeah, she's a big queen.
She's a nice looking
And she's
queen.
laying good too. So, and what she's looking right now for a place to
Yep.
plant
Back
herself to
into-
lay some more eggs.
Yep.
Nice.
So do we see